What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tax Help for Tax Pros. I'm here in beautiful Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains on a mini vacation, but I thought that I would take you along my morning walk to talk about, do you need a virtual office or do you need a physical office when starting your tax business? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the aspects of each one, why a person might want to use either of those items. And then I'm going to give you 5 questions at the very end to ask yourself to help you make the appropriate decision. So let's start out by talking about a virtual office. So what is a virtual office? Well, a virtual office by its nature is tech-driven with regards to infrastructure. You do not need a physical brick and mortar location. What you do need is you do need access to high-speed internet. So it's characterized by not having like servers or desktops or physical software that you need somewhere. Everything is usually maintained in the cloud, okay? So basically, have laptop, will travel. As long as you've got an internet connection, you are in business. Which brings up the second point. It means that you can work from virtually anywhere. So as I mentioned, I'm down here in Tennessee right now. And on vacation, as long as I've got my laptop, I can service my clients. Matter of fact, we service clients in 30+ states, usually sight unseen. So next up, there is little need for you to meet your clients in person. And what I mean by that is that your clientele doesn't need to physically meet with you. So some clients do need to meet in person. Say if they're elderly or they do not have a lot of tech experience or they don't have access to tech. Certain income brackets are more prone to necessarily need to meet in person, okay? So if you don't need to see your clients, virtual offices are a very good option. The next thing is that they are characterized by low overhead. You don't have to pay for rent or a physical space. And they're usually best for people who are just trying to start out and keep their budget low so their business can survive. The last thing is that a virtual office allows you to be present at home if you need to. So let's just say that you have young children that you need to take care of. Maybe you're a single parent or you have an elderly relative that you're watching out for. So a virtual office will allow you to be at home if needed. Okay, so now let's talk about physical offices. Physical offices are best for those who need to meet their clients in person. So many people in the service-based industry, whether they are tax preparers or they are consultants, attorneys, etc., they choose to actually have a physical office. And that might be just simply because of the prestige of the client that they want to meet or the image that they want to portray, or it's just the fact that they actually like being in a physical office. The next thing is that if you have a team, a physical office allows you to capture that synergy. Okay, guess what? In post-COVID world, it is very easily to work from home. However, there's a certain synergy of having your team members together. It allows for efficiency, speed of exchange with regards to information, etc. So for those who maybe have a team or are thinking about in the future, I want to have a team, you might want to consider a physical office. Next up, you can possibly get foot traffic, okay? So a lot of people mistakenly think that just because they have a physical office, they're about to get all these clients that are just going to magically find them. And what I usually tell people is that that adage of if you build it, they will come does not apply when you have a physical office. What I mean by that is that it is the marketing that you do that gets the clients to come to your physical office. And if you're wondering about how to market your tax business, make sure you check out the playlist, 10 ways to market your tax business, okay? But if you are possibly looking to get foot traffic, maybe you locate your office in a very high trafficked area, then it is one thing that you can actually consider. The next thing is that having a physical office can help you separate your work life from your home life, okay? So maybe your home life is just too distracting, people are too loud, you don't have a dedicated space, okay? So I had a routine. I worked in corporate for 13 years. So I would go to my office, I would do my work, and then I would come home. So if you're looking to maintain that separation between family life and work life, you might want to consider a physical office. The last thing about physical offices is that they give you a place to have a dedicated routine, okay? So if you're an individual and you're starting out and maybe you're not the best at, making sure that you focus and keep things quiet, and you're looking to just maintain a place where, hey, guess what? When I go here, I can sit down, I can work, I can get into my routine, I can do my 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever it may be, then consider getting a physical office. All right, so now for the 5 questions one should ask themselves to help them figure out which one might be best for you. The first up is, do you have the capability to have a virtual office? And what I mean by that is Do you have a space somewhere in your apartment, someplace where you live, in your house, a den, whatever? And do you have access to the technology, or can you get access to the technology as well as the high-speed internet connection, okay? If your physical environment just is not conducive for you setting up a virtual office, then you might want to go ahead and just get a physical one, all right? But if you can work from home, it's usually the best option when starting out because you keep your overhead low, which gives you a greater chance of your business actually surviving and thriving, all right? Next up, will my clientele need to actually meet with me, all right? So if you have a certain level of clientele that do require physical presence and being face-to-face to drop off their documents or do whatever it is that they need to do, then you're gonna wanna go ahead and maybe get a physical office. But if you can do everything virtually, then go ahead and consider it. Like I said, we work with clients in 30+ states, sight unseen, and we do it quite comfortably. Next, do I or will I have a team? When I first started out, I literally had a 700 square foot physical office, and it was just 2 desks in it. Why there were 2 desks, not really sure, but I knew that it was gonna be bigger than me, at some point in time. So, if you're going to have a team, then that is something that you're definitely going to want to consider. The next thing that you want to know is, do you actually have the budget for a physical office, okay? So way back when we launched, I think it was 2012, I was paying like $625 for a storefront that, had been vacant, so they were willing to give me a deal on it. And now, all these years later, I think our rent is like a little over $1,100 a month, okay? And we do have a pretty big office. That is not necessary in today's day and age. Through companies such as WeWorks or, Regis, or any of those places where you can go and you can get shared space in a bigger office that, has a conference room, has a kitchenette, has some meeting rooms where you can meet, and a little space for you to go ahead and conduct your business. That's an option that you can get. May give you some of that prestige that you're looking for, may give you some of that bigger space and location feel that you're looking for, and get it at a fraction of a cost of paying for your own office. Those are things that you can also consider, all right? But the main thing you want to ask yourself is, can you afford this office? So, if the clients that you have are going to be paying you enough in terms of fees that you can pay for your monthly rent, then go for it. But if you're just starting out, like I said, usually if you can just go ahead and do everything virtual, it's going to keep your overhead low so that you can go ahead and you can survive. And that's really the key. And then the last thing that you want to consider is, do I need the flexibility of working from home in order to meet my family obligations? So if you have special needs or you have special considerations, or you just want the flexibility to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do, then, on your terms and your time, then you can consider having a virtual office. Whereas, with a physical office, you're going to be tied down, you got certain office hours, et cetera. So that's, something to consider. And there you have it. Those are 5 questions that you consider when trying to figure out if you want to have a virtual or physical office. Me personally, when we started out with a physical office. However, I always operated in a virtual environment. And what I mean by that is when I first started out seeing clients or dealing with clients, I was still working for an employer. So therefore, I was doing everything kind of like, on the side, which basically meant that, I wasn't meeting my clients in the office. I would go meet with them, pick up their documents, do the exchange, do the work, bring back their information at a later point in time, meet up with them, whether it's a cafe for lunch or something, and then exchange their information. So we kind of continued that model when we started with our physical office. Most people will not necessarily see us. We don't do tax preparation face-to-face. You give us your information, we work it, we let you know when it's ready, we present the returns to you, you sign, you pay, and you're kind of on your way. So that's the environment that we currently work in. But I hope that you found this video helpful. If so, please consider giving it a thumbs up, or you can even consider buying me a coffee. The link is in the description of this video, and the extra coins go towards helping us do things such as buy gear and props. So until next time, remember, tax help for tax pros, where pros go to be in the know.